Hey, welcome to Last Cut Productions. This is my list of top 10 movies of the year. Just before we get started, I want to mention a few things. First off, I'm not going to mention any spoilers. These are films I love, and I want you to enjoy them as much as I do. The spoilers might change that for some people, so I'm not going to mention any spoilers. I also want to talk about how weird my upload schedule's been lately. I'm going to try to upload at least every few weeks from now. I'll be putting short edits on my new channel Instagram. Last thing, started a new Instagram for my channel. I'll be posting stuff about the channel, smaller edits like I said before, maybe more stuff, channel updates. I'm not sure exactly where it's going yet. Anyway, it's at lastcut.prod. It's probably in the bottom corner. Let's get into the video. Number 10 is always weird on one of these lists, because by putting it here I'm saying it's worse than every other movie on this list, but also by putting it on the list I'm saying it's better than every other movie that came out in 2018 that I've seen. That's not a part of my list, so it's kind of weird. I don't know, that's just weird to me. I'm gonna stop rambling. Upgrade is the movie that Venom should have been. Logan Marshall Green, who plays the main character, Gray, even looks exactly like Tom Hardy. Gray was in a car accident where his wife was killed and he was paralyzed. He gets a chip implanted in his neck by a scientist which allows him to walk again. It talks to him and he can fight better and it can control his body when he lets it. Okay, it does a lot of things. I know this sounds like a typical action movie, but it's so much more. The death of his wife is surprisingly emotional. When the chip takes over, it takes a lot of good acting to be fighting like a badass with your body, but with your face, you just look like confused, like what the hell is going on, because he's in the movie, he's not controlling it. This film is also directed by Leigh Whannell, who directed the third Insidious, so he really knows how to stretch a low budget to provide real looking action even with the low budget. Like I said, I don't know, this movie just hit me in the right way. These are just some of the things I liked about it. Number 9 is Searching. This takes the concept of a film shot entirely on a computer screen. It was first used in the Unfriended movies, and it adds some more dramatic tension and suspense, which creates a really compelling mystery thriller story. The basic premise is David Kim, played by John Cho, has to find his daughter Margot Kim after she's gone missing, but on his journey to find her, he discovers that he didn't know her as well as he thought he did. The attention to detail in this film is insane. Every corner of the screen is filled with important information, but at the same time, even though a lot of the evidence is there, no part of this film is obvious, and every one of the twists was surprising. Overall, this was a great watch, and I was entertained throughout. Number 8 is Black Panther. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies. The best part of this is the villain. Killmonger was abandoned and left out of Wakanda. He wanted them to share their technology with the rest of the world, so they could get a chance that he never had. What he wants is understandable, but the means he'll use to achieve it are not. He's been driven over the edge because he can't think of any other way. He doesn't see himself as a villain, just someone who's doing what needs to be done. Number 7 is Blindspotting. Blindspotting is the story of when Cullen, who was just released from prison, only has a few days left on his probation. His best friend Miles makes it much harder for him to get through his probation without getting into trouble. Whether it's because Miles owns a gun or starts fights, he's just a violent person who is driven to anger really quickly. This film expertly portrays the stand on the friendship between these two men. It makes you question whether you had a friend who is constantly putting you into harm's way, whether they're worth it or not. 6. A Quiet Place. I love A Quiet Place. It's set in a future where monsters with super sensitive hearing hunt down humans, but it's so much more than a boring, typical post-apocalyptic disaster movie. It's about family and what they'll do for each other. In the middle of the movie, John Krasinski's character's daughter thinks he doesn't love her, and throughout the movie he has to prove that he does. John Krasinski's first directing effort brings a lot of heart and tension between the characters, while also delivering believable action and suspense. Number 5. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's the perfect Spider-Man story. It focuses on 6 spider people whose universes have collided, who are just trying to get back to their own universe. It perfectly balances the two main storylines of Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man and of the different universes colliding. The animation style is really creative. It looks like it's right out of a comic book. It was the first time that one of these movies actually showed how intense and dangerous web swinging is. I mean, you're literally jumping off a building, and it really visualized the intensity and the wind and the speed and the danger in a way that no other Spider-Man movie's ever done. I don't know why I'm focusing on that, I just really liked it. Just something I found cool. On top of that, it's just a heartfelt movie which really understood what it meant to be Spider-Man. That anyone can be Spider-Man. Anyone could have been bitten by the spider. Having the powers doesn't make you a hero. Anyone could be Spider-Man. I'm rambling. Number 4 is Black Klansman. Directed by Spike Lee, Black Klansman is the true story of when Ron Stallworth was hired as the first black police officer in the Colorado PD. He infiltrates the KKK, but by talking to them on the phone and sending a white officer to pretend to be him at the KKK meetings. The best part of this film by far are the characters and acting. Every person on screen, you believe. Every moment, you believe. Everything feels real. You really hate the KKK members like they're real people. Every part of this movie feels real, which is why it deserves number 4 on this list. Sorry to Bother You is number 3. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because a lot of stuff is left out of the trailers and the descriptions and stuff, because most of that is heavy spoilers, because it's much more than you think it is. It's an allegory for the state of capitalism in today's world and how race affects success in the workplace. It takes to the extreme message about what business will do to make more money, what people will do to rise up through the ranks. Number 2 is The Hate U Give. Based on a book by the same name, when a black teenager is shot and killed by a white police officer in a traffic stop, Star, who witnessed what happened, has to speak out against this injustice. This film is an intense character study. You really see the effects of watching someone die on Star. Her arc to stand up and do something about what happened is really what drives the movie. The Hate U Give really resonated with me, and I hope every one of you watches it. Before I get to number 1, I'm going to show you some of my honorable mentions. Mission Impossible Fallout. It was a great continuation of the Mission Impossible franchise. Somehow it continued to raise the stakes from its predecessor, be more serious, but was still down to earth and stuck to the light-hearted fun on top of intense action that makes this franchise great. Overall, I think Tom Cruise, he needs to stop pushing himself. He's getting old. Next honorable mention is Love, Simon. It's a heartfelt coming-of-age story about being gay in high school, and I'm sure it's affected it'll affect a lot of people, and yeah, it's just a great film. Also Widows. It's a thrilling heist movie which I just found really enjoyable. It was really intense, and Viola Davis especially had some really good acting. And lastly, for the honorable mentions, is Deadpool 2. While not having quite as much of what made Deadpool 1 great, and occasionally using its meta-ness as a plot device, it still delivered a fun movie with lots of heart. Number 1, I'm sure is no surprise to you, is Infinity War. This is the top of my list. If you've seen some of the videos on my channel, you know I'm kind of a Marvel guy. It's the perfect payoff to 10 years of build-up. All of the characters are fully realized and have a place in this movie. The action is incredible. It goes to show that it was rumored to have a budget of over $300 million. So the CGI is perfect. Thanos looks like a real person. Well, as real as a purple grimace man with the beef nut section. And he looks like he's real in the world. Everything looked like it was there in the moment. The battles were amazing. Most importantly, Thanos was the perfect villain. It's really his story. He believed he was the hero, and the ending was devastating. It really made the audience feel for the characters who were dusting away, even though we all know they'll be revived next year. Yeah, otherwise, I think it was just a great film. It was a great build-up. The characters were great. Everything about this film was great. I'm rambling again. I do that. I ramble. Okay. So, that was my list. Thank you for watching. Did you agree, disagree? What movies would have made your list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new video. Otherwise, this is Last Cut Productions, signing off.